Oh, that was nice. All right, we seem to be live. This is The Pale Beyond, the demo from the new game from Bellular Studios. I'm kind of looking forward to this. I do like Bellular. I think he's got a good YouTube channel, pretty informative, and this is his studio's new game, or at least the demo of it. So let's see. All right, back. All right, let's check it out. Not really sure how long it is. Oh, the air bees cold. Uh, Oh, the air bees cold, a flake and white, as a sailor begs their pledge. To the ice they'll pray that leads reveal, out in the ice they'll stake a claim, that in the dark they'll brace themselves. The ice they'll pray that leads reveal. I think that seems right. That leads reveal some charted course ahead. Of homes they'll dream, to the souls around, of glory found. Of homes they'll dream. Homes they'll dream of warmth long lost, and chase to Frostworld's edge. Hunger draws the desperate here. Falling sows to spread, such lonely souls need lead. Such lonely souls need lead. What will you do when steel hearts break and courage does abscond? I'll do what must be done indeed, out in the pale beyond. Let's begin. Crew wanted. Able-bodied crew wanted for dangerous expedition. Months of darkness, low wages, slim chance of safe return. Glory to be had in the event of success. Well, sign me up. I am indeed alone in the office. The tea in my hand has long since gone cold, and that is true. I'd rather coffee. It's perfectly adequate. I mean, if it's cold tea or warm coffee, I'd rather have coffee. Looking around the room, you can make out a collection of military books. On the desk is a ship in a bottle. A metronome ticks away steadily. Hmm. I guess I find it calming for now. Dedicated rhythm soothes the senses. The room is sweltering, the air stiff and stale. You hear footsteps climbing the stairs that brought you here. Take a seat. The chair is uncomfortably large. The seat feels worn. The door behind you swings open. The captain bounds past you to the other side of the desk. You have all of your teeth. You bare your teeth to the man. Good. Never be too careful. He sits down. It's the little things you can lose people to. I've not had scurvy before, if that's what you're asking. There's more things to worry about than just scurvy. How many people have died under your supervision? Uh, I say none. I mean, I don't know anything about my character. I probably wouldn't go with I don't appreciate this line of questioning. Be pretty open. Self-deprecation, probably. Can you remember their faces? I'm ashamed to admit they faded. Honestly, probably with time. That would be probably more likely. Hmm. I see you've already made yourself comfortable. I'm Captain Hunt. Pleasure's mine. Robin Shaw. Fine. There's been a lot of candidates. Some good, some bad. Interesting mix. I'm sure you understand the need for discretion. Months of darkness, low wages, slim chance of safe return. That didn't deter you, did it? Hmm. I don't think he would be a adventure seeker or like some sort of thrill seeker. This Robin Shaw. Good work is hard to come by these days. Uh, I don't think that sort of advertisement leads one to believe that good work's hard to come by. It's more like, uh, let's see, it's to be expected, surely. I thought it blunt, but it's proven remarkable at weeding out the weak and the pretend. I have a few questions first. He looks down at his list of questions. Were you born a landlubber or sea dog? I wonder if they literally means you were born at sea. Let's say I'm seaborn. I'm salt born and bred. Military experience. Merchant. Sailed the merchant lines 12 years. Criminal, only evading them. Colonial, Royal Admiralty. I think merchant's probably more likely. Sailed the merchant lines 12 years. Very good. What did you trade in? Ooh, go with fruit. Honest work. Have you ever fired a weapon? Yes. Have you ever killed a man, directly or otherwise? Killed a man directly or otherwise. Well, if many people have died and more than I care to remember, probably some have died under my orders. So, yes. No, I am not. You better not have a death wish. One must believe they'll return to justify leaving in the first place. Any less, and you're doing yourself a disservice. Let him continue. We're here to find the ship in that bottle. The Viscount. Heard of it? No. Enlighten me. He clears his throat. 5 years ago, she set sail on a research expedition towards the Dead Peninsula. They were trying to find and study the absolute magnetic south. Hmm. They found it. I might have heard of them. The absolute magnetic south. She never came back. Her last known location was 200 miles south of land, presumed lost to the ice. 5 years is a bit late for a rescue operation. Beginning to sound like a suicide. We're supposed to be chasing the ship. Alive or not, their research is supposedly of extreme importance, and we're supposed to be chasing that research. I'm going to need more than rumors about lost ships if I'm putting my life at risk. Exactly. I think we can let him continue. Here's what we do know. Not one person or thing has been heard from the Viscount since it first left port. Excuse me. Until now, someone was found who claims to have been on that ship. Where are they now? Dead, but their testimony seems to have outlived them. Those with more money than sense want that old ship. That's the job. If I don't pick the first mate, somebody else will, and, well, my judge of character has gotten me this far. What of our own ship? And what of the crew? I think the crew's more important. Quite the mix, a work in progress. Some I've known for years, they get in on trust and experience. Others, well, they interview. Not entirely. A different undertaking than usual. We do have transport, though. We'll be traveling on board the Temperance. She's a beauty, greenwood, generational. Not many like it left these days. The Viscount and the Temperance. They're sister ships. Built together, sent out into this world to die alone. Indeed. I like to think one calls out for the other. The captain looks at the bottled ship. But what do you think? No, it isn't. The captain checks his watch. Anyway, I think I've heard enough. We leave in a month. Welcome aboard, Shaw. Proverbially speaking. See, I don't know what Shaw would have expected. Don't you need more information? Not if I'm a captain worth his salt. I work with people, not professions. I'd sooner trust a good carpenter than a cruel sailor to save me from drowning. But alas, I'll see you on the Temperance. I have a good feeling about you, Shaw. Thank you, Captain. Makes his way out the door, and you follow. You arrive at the docks a month to the day. I just say I really like the look and the atmosphere of this game so far. Definitely very nice. Hold on. Before you lies a ship. The letters on the side spelling Temperance. You walk the cobble to the boarding ramp. Beside is a sharply dressed man overseeing the loading of cargo. He turns to you with a stern expression. You can feel his eyes assessing you. He's quick to inspect you for ink. Another sailor for the fold, mid-deck with the others. His hand remains behind him. Well, well, well. What a friendly dude. Please let me know who you are so I can place you on the correct deck. I'm Robin Shaw. That would make you the captain's choice for first mate, correct? I'm Mr. Templeton. I shall be operating as the chief science officer on this expedition. I am also the incumbent representative of our benefactor. Do, however, consider myself and my team at you in the captain's disposal. Mr. Templeton, I look forward to working with you. I expect you to be up for the task. Some of the layabouts on tired are questionable at best. No doubt I need to inform you of your duties. You're second only to Captain Hunt himself. Though I must warn you that you have quite the task ahead. The rabble I've spent the afternoon sorting are the same that you'll have to whip into shape. Punctuality, schedule, strict adherence is what we need if this expedition is to succeed. I expect you to be the organized sort. You would not have been assigned the role otherwise. Let's see, 12 degrees Celsius, weak as 0. I likely have more in common with the crew than I do yourself, Mr. Tippleton. I doubt there will be much issue. Let's see. I mean, I don't really like any of these. You speak like you're in charge. It's too confrontational for how I would play Shaw. I likely have more in common with the crew than I do yourself, Mr. Templeton. Um, I doubt there will be much issue. That sounds too flippant. Like, obviously, the guy has a problem, but or he thinks there's a problem with the crew, and I think I'll just go with 1. That would come as no small surprise. No offense was meant, Officer Shaw. Board when you're ready. And when you find yourself needing a scientist, we can try this again. Okay. So, a young man stands at the ramp, steeling himself for the journey ahead. Hesitantly, he begins to drag his feet up the ramp and onto the ship. You will be gone for quite a while. It will be some time before you see the city again. Okay. To the Temperance. What a fine ship. Hunt's description of the ship was accurate. Near identical to the Viscount, barring some modern additions. Okay. Let's stay. Week 1. Okay. That's pretty cool. Pretty nice. It's been a month. First Mate Shaw, personal log. It's been 1 month since I signed on and 1 week since we've set sail aboard the Temperance. I'm told the waters will get warmer as we pass the hemisphere before they turn colder. I've never been on a ship like this before. A technical marvel, elegant machinery expertly weaved through one of the fastest hardwood ships of its day. Reborn for this mission, breathing again with life. She's simply magnificent. There are now 22 of us, including the captain. Our next port will be our last before we enter the ice. Pick up the remaining 4 members of the crew, the scouting team. Hunt is also keen to work out a deal on a pack of sledding dogs. The crew are a strange lot, eclectic as the ship itself. As for its master, he's mostly kept to his quarters so far. Sure, I trust the captain. He seems a trustworthy sort. Hello? Experience alone justifies his position. There aren't many who make out the other end of naval military service with all their limbs, let alone his vigor. I've heard the rumors. Drinking, desertion. There's probably a good reason he's dressed in antique. Mustn't let my guard. Perhaps I'm too quick to judge. I do find myself warming to the man. I don't know. I think he gave a decent. Uh, our first meeting was pretty good. I assume over the last month. Who's paying for this? I can't help but wonder who's footing the bill for all this. Certainly not the captain. Such exquisite modifications to the ship mustn't have come cheap. Hmm. I feel like once we have gotten things sort of in order, like got the ship going and sorted the crew out a little bit, that, it's been a month at this point. I feel like Shaw would probably start to have some questions about like what's going on once things start calming down somewhat. I should investigate it further. One of Hunt's sailors approaches. Captain wants you at the helm. I'll head there now. He leaves. It says week 1, morning, but it's been a month. You ascend the stairs to the stern and find the old captain manning the helm of the ship. Ah, Robin, lovely day for it, isn't it? It is indeed, Captain. Indeed. It's days like these I make sure to do my share of the sailing. He thinks for a moment before stepping aside and stretching out a wrinkled hand. Did you ever take the helm in the merchant navy, or were you stuck carrying crates? Here, why don't you have a try? I mean, if he's letting me, I don't have to ask, are you sure? Let me just take the wheel. You grip the wheel of the ship and feel the weight of the waves in your arms. Oh, use right click to pan around. The memory in your muscles rear themselves as you begin to move in time with the ship and the wind. Not a lot to see, but still pretty cool. Easy. There, you have it. Captain pats you on the back. Fantastic. Now try to get a sense of where we are. Get some perspective. Peaceful. Panning and zooming speeds can be adjusted in the settings menu. He takes the wheel back from you. I think I'll drink in the morning in a little longer. I think I'll drink the morning in a little longer. I thought he was saying he was going to get some alcohol this morning, but no, that's not what he meant. He's drinking in the morning. Would you mind preparing my quarters for the day's work? There's much to do. All right. Take request. The desk. Painting. A tub. A classical painting depicting sailors doing battle with a kraken. Saltborn. An ode to an old folk story of the great Captain Samus' dance with the Salt King. A pristine furnished tub secured to the floor. A luxury to be had on the ice. On the desk, you make out a variety of papers, notes, and maps. I wasn't what land book. As well as a sealed letter with a stamp you recognize as the mark of the Apperton Tinning Company. Or maybe cooperation. I don't know. The desk itself is suspended with ropes to keep it safely in place. Oh, that's cool. Suspended with ropes. Does that maybe it does. Alright, take requests. Midday. You take a seat at the end of the room. Oh, that's super cool. This looks so good. Captain joins you. Now let's run through our provisions before taking requests. To start, there's 23 souls signed in onto this expedition, ourselves included. That's 16 free to be assigned to task if they aren't already busy. The rest are deployed to their permanent stations. Okay. So plus what? 7 who are deployed to permanent stations. 2 of those are probably me and the captain. So 5 to 6 are in other permanent positions. 16 to be assigned to tasks. You are only able to deploy crew who you have discovered. They must be in good health, not otherwise deployed to another post. We'll be picking up the scouting crew at the next port. A lot of us also seem to be in good spirits. The expedition will tear itself apart if you end the week with no decorum left. Will tear itself apart if you end the week with no decorum. We have enough provisions for at least 6 months in case of emergency. Crew members will start to develop scurvy and will be unable to work should you end the week with no food left in the hushpot. And more than enough fuel to see us there and back again. Something tells me that's probably not the case. You will all freeze to death if you end the week with no fuel in the furnace. The sledding dogs, well, they're still a matter of negotiation. Dogs will be needed to send sledding teams out to gather resources on the ice. Now, on to work. Corvid and Cordell. Oh, I guess we're meeting people. A sailor enters. We found a stowaway in the lower hold. Bring them in. Another sailor enters, leading a young man by their side. You know, you're not the first stowaway I've had. The captain studies them further. You know where we're heading, don't you? I do, sir. Grunt. The ice. Did you know that before you climbed inside that crate? I did, sir. How old are you? You're hardly a useful pair of hands. Not true, I can pull my weight, sir. Did you know you're Jaboom from your bowsprit? Well, I don't know that. I do. I learned it all from my dad. Dad. He's Ward's son. Followed him on board back in the city. What should we do with him, Captain? Hunt eyes me up. Your first mate, what should we do with him? Well, that's another mouth to feed for sure. Jeez. Already having problems, man. Okay. So I thought this game was going to be a sort of story-driven survivalist game. Maybe like a going to be a management game, essentially. We've got, from the bottom left to right, we've got decorum, which probably is sort of like giving out tasks. We've got fuel for heat. And then we've got food. We've got dogs, which we need to gather supplies. And then we have a limited number of resources that we can assign to jobs in terms of people. So we got 5 numbers down there that we've got to manage. Now, if we add this kid, Grunt, then we'll get another body to do stuff with. But that's going to take up, presumably, more of all of the other resources. So it's hard to tell. I mean, at this point in the game, we don't know how valuable any one resource is. I mean, let's keep him aboard. I mean, my thought is he's probably the son of this guy, the white beard. I mean, where do we kick him off? I guess we can kick him off at where the at where we pick up the scouting team at the last at the last port before we hit the ice. But that presumably would present some problems for the dad who's on board. I think we can keep him around. We don't have the time to accommodate this. If the boy wants to freeze to death, let him. He's clearly here because his father is. It would be wrong to separate them again. Why? You need all the help you can get. This young man wants to help. I don't think that's a good enough reason. Or I don't think that's the reason that I'm thinking of it. I'm thinking of it from purely the perspective of this kid's here because his dad's here, essentially. And separating them right now is just going to cause more problems, I think, than it's worth. Party of the crew. Be sure to keep your nose clean and follow orders. I will, thank you, sir. Captain, not sir. Aye, Captain. Stowaway joins the 2 sailors below deck, now a member of the crew. Well, it seems the litter has a new runt. I hope the rest won't mind sharing their rations. What of the father? I doubt he intended for this to happen. Keep an eye on both of them. Yeah, he probably didn't want his son coming on this, actually. But now that he's here, we're kind of just stuck with him. Have you agreed upon my conditions? To the point, eh? Y'all, this is Lady Cordell. Lady Cordell here is to provide us with the kennel of hounds for the sleds. And our agreement was that she would train them up until we part ways at the nearest island. But you neglected to inform me that you were bringing my dogs through the Pale Passage. I had no intention of sending the pack to its death. You seem to have good faith in this expedition. It's one thing to ask for my whole kennel, it's another to drag them into the ice to chase the myth. Never before has a buyer been so dishonest. Never before has a seller made such strong demands. Lady Cordell, and what exactly are these demands? You already sold the dogs, did you not? You have no control over them now. Let's be diplomatic. And what are these demands? Demands we allow her to come along on the expedition. God! Another body? See, I don't know what that 100 food is. Like, is it 1 per week per person? If that's the case, then we've got a month of food. But he said it should be enough. I don't really know what the breakdown is. She demands we allow her to come along as a member of the crew. None of this ship have the experience and familiarity with these dogs that I possess. If you are taking them to such a brutal location, they will need me to guide them if they have any chance of survival. Humans on board too, of course. Of course. You can see my dilemma, Shaw. You've just accepted a stowaway. Bringing on another member of the crew is a risk, but our hands may be tied. Your thoughts? Huh. God dang it. Yeah, I wish I had done this one first. It might have made more sense to, uh, like, theoretically, she can contribute more than the kid can. If the dogs are as valuable as we're supposing that they'll be, which the captain here does think so. I don't see the harm in having an expert on the sled dogs. We should cancel the deal. We can find another buyer, unless we can't. If you're so adamant, we accept your offer. Well, that's true. Well, there is a harm, obviously, and it's in food, essentially. Oh, adding 2 people automatically, going up to 25 crew. Good point, Shaw. He turns to her. This deal is already to your benefit. Do you have anyone on board with extensive training in the management and ruling of dogs? Your sleds are useless if you can't control the dogs efficiently enough to haul them. And I would like to ensure my dogs are treated properly. I hope you're as experienced as you claim. It is true, we have no idea, like, how much knowledge she actually has. But I feel like, I feel like I would be pretty diplomatic about stuff. Invaluable. I have a room prepared for you below deck. 25. We already increased by 2. No need. You'll find me in the forecastle with the dog. Jesus. He leaves. Hope I'm not making a mistake, Shaw. Alright, well, we got our 14 dogs. I'd be sweating a little bit on my forehead. Now that that's all settled, I have one more errand for you to run. Could you grab the Stoke brothers and order them to meet me up deck after dinner? Hefty lads, red hair, you couldn't mistake them for another. Do you require me for this meeting? No, this isn't the matter the first officer need to concern themselves with. They'll be down on the middle deck. In the meantime, you should grab a copy of the crew manifest and get acquainted with more of the crew. Oh, wow. That's cool. Upon closer inspection, you make out the ship's photographer, Tasha Belfort, balanced on the ship's mast with her camera, lining up a photo. Well, yeah, let's wait for her to finish. Taking a shot, she clambers down, only noticing you on her landing. Oh, Officer Shaw. It's about time I met the first officer of this ship, Tasha Belfort. Yes, I've heard of you already. Nice to meet you, Tasha. I suppose there was some sort of rule against what I was doing up there. Deepest apologies, but sometimes there's a shot you just cannot pass up. An accomplished photographer, Tasha Belfort, won the Fintler Prize highest honor in journalism for her work covering plague outbreaks and riots in the capital. It came as a surprise to many that such a reputable journalist would take such an interest in this expedition. There was scarcely any chance of Hunt or the benefactor turning her away. Huh. I guess you expected someone of her accolades to be older, more experienced. This is likely her first time on the sea like this. Her accomplishments surely outweigh her youth. Her proof is all we have. Yeah, I think she's probably not prepared. Old game. Picture that as a header. Let her continue. For the piece on this voyage, I'm trying to come up with a snappy name. Nobody will read it if the title sounds like the work of an amateur. How about Hunt's Incredible Voyage? Too fantastical? I suppose I'll find the right name when the time comes. I'm getting ahead of myself, aren't I? Apologies, I'm just a little excited. I've never been on a voyage like this. I suppose in your experience, the open ocean is the home of the mundane, though I suppose you never traveled this far south of the merchant line, on the merchant line. You know who I am? Of course, I thoroughly researched the crew of the Temperance. May seem somewhat excessive, but I feel it's necessary for a proper chronicling. That and plenty of pictures. Don't worry, Shaw. You don't have a reputation that sets you apart from the rest. A celebrity like Kurt Darling's presence will dwarf any rumors that could form around you. That reminds me, he'll be joining us at next port. I should get his picture at some point. Tasha holds up her camera with a sense of pride before holding it up to her face. Stand still, Shaw. Please warn me before doing that. Now let's take a mild interest in her. Only a day or two. I've made a makeshift darkroom in the hold. Speaking of photographs, I hand you an annotated document. Here it is, the crew manifest. Oh, cool. Ilian Smurf Sanders, sailor, ice savvy. Amelia Corvid Sparrow, sailor, ice savvy. Joseph Joe Green, sailor, ice savvy. Timmy Runt Ward, sailor, stowaway, saltport. Interesting. Okay. So, sailor, scout, engineer, scientist, specialist. Rufus Hunt, captain, ice savvy, mutt wash. Richard Templeton, science officer, landborn. Robin Shaw, saltborn merchant. Pasha Belford, photographer, landborn. Resource card. Key item. Huh. All right, that's pretty cool. It's a work in progress. The scout team are to join us at the next port, and the captain's forbidden me from the boiler room. If you could ask the others to get their portraits taken, I'd be very grateful. Don't want to leave anyone out. Oh, see what I can do. I have a few more shots I want to get before the sun lowers again. Safe shots, officer. Don't worry. Well, I suppose since she said safe, to John. But a large man with a youthful gait carrying a heavy crate over his shoulder with relative ease. Oh, you're Officer Shaw. He gives a bright, warming smile. Hugh Johns. That's what they call me. I'm sure you'll get your nickname later. Hugh Johns attempts to offer a handshake but loses control of the crate. He struggles before firmly holding it in place with both hands. Ah, maybe later. Work waits. Okay. Got the crew. Fort. I'm guessing the forecastle is just like this part. Alright. Then to the mid deck. Then above deck. Here. Anything. Here. Cool. If there's a way I can. Zooming. A little better. So I don't even remember who the heck I was looking for. Um, oh, redheads. That's right. Approach the accordionist. One of the crew, a red-headed man with a thick beard, sits proud, playing an ivory accordion. You guys got your descriptions a little wrong there. That doesn't look ivory. Maybe it's ivory painted red for some reason. He spots you and ceases in his playing. Need anything? I was just looking for the Stoke brothers. Emergency? Grimly a pseudonym. Just a meeting with Hunt. You're speaking to one of them. Grimly Stoke. We'll head up after dinner. You can go now. Wow. I feel like I'm not asserting myself enough as the first mate. The crew have their meal. It passes in relative silence. The crew return to their posts. The hammocks are unfurled in preparation for the evening twilight. For the evening, twilight falls. Well, that's kind of cool. I wonder if they don't all look like uh, hammocks, but I guess that makes sense that you would use hammocks on a ship, maybe. The dinner table. Over dinner, you overhear the newly picked up stowaway speaking with a one-armed man. At that, you're lucky Hunt didn't throw you overboard. Half a mind to do that myself. Come on, Dad. I'm here to help. Better know that involves work. Don't expect special treatment. I won't. You're an impossible child, Timmy. Doug Ward added to the manifest. Is that just a regular sailor? Yep. I'm guessing Grimly Stoke. Carpenter. Okay. I wonder if the other Stoke brothers also are carpenter. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. enter your cabin. That's cool. Talk with this dude. Kind of weird. You spot one of Templeton's science team pacing around the mid-deck, searching through some luggage that has been pulled from a cabin. Let me look in the light. Where was it now? He notices you. Ah, Officer Shaw, correct? Dwight Glossley. Apologies, I seem to have misplaced something while settling in the cabin. A bottle of wine, actually. Can't be hard to miss. It will turn up eventually. I would hope so. My wife and I brought a bottle to celebrate with. Be safe for the journey back, of course. Well, if you find it, please let me know. Or my cabin. Cool. A tiny little, tiny room. I do intend to investigate further. Okay. I think the hit detection could use a little work. Templeton. You spot Templeton looking out into the sunset. As you approach, he turns to you and nods. Officer Shaw, it will be some time before we see a sunset such as this again. The light distribution towards the southern pole is quite the change. Here, we started on the wrong foot. I don't know so much about that. Nor with the others. I prefer to eat in solitude. I have my own cabin, and I make use of it. This is great expectation upon us, officer. There is a great expectation upon us, officer. From who? Who is this benefactor of ours? Are you feeling the pressure, Mr. Templeton? To the task. I don't think that's fair to be asking a guy who's basically laterally in my colleague about our employer or our superior right now. From who? Who is this benefactor of ours? It's not for you to know. Not yet. He looks back up at the sunset. Quite the sight, but I wouldn't linger upon it too long. We should retire for the evening. It's important the first officer be well rested. Oh, I wasn't ready. Dang it. Okay. So, food rations. The food rations per crew member this week, normal is 2 per person per week. So we have 2 weeks worth in normally. Fuel rations, fuel spent on the week, normal. How? Oh, I see. If I do that, half rations. Geez. Start with this. I wonder if more people also uses more fuel, or if fuel is a standard 20 per week. I would be more worried about 2 per person. per week. I mean, that's a big difference. Technically, we could go. Like, the extra 2 people is not the big deal, because whether you go 1 or 2 per person per week, you essentially have the same number of weeks between 23 or 25 people. Go half, none, no food for the week. That sounds awful. Ship makes its last port at Whale Tail Island. Cordell's sledding dogs are picked up. Scouting crew and Kurt Darling are picked up. Days are getting brighter as you move further south. I thought I said I had been here a month, but okay. There's a rap on your cabin door. Come in. Door swings open to reveal Kurt Darling, all but filling its frame, grinning ear to ear. There you are, Officer Shaw. The ship's navigator is a difficult man to miss. His stature and reputation precede him. Adorned with a slew of apparatus, the seemingly one-man expedition would be known to anyone following the heyday of exploration. In the merchandising that follows, I know little of the man. His reputation is indeed great, but the man behind the legend is but a stranger. Hiding away from the rest of us, are you? I feel like most people on the ship would be early to rise. You need something of me, Kurt. Simply busy. I'm not the sort to demand favors, Officer Shaw. Apologies for not stopping by sooner, Shaw. It took me a while to set up my team, and a great deal of the crew were quite eager to meet me. Is that a brag? That's right. You're something of a celebrity, aren't you? Not often they work with a film star, is it? Seems like a slight. I doubt he sees himself as a film star. More than one fellow on this cruise said my work inspired them to explore the world. Quite the honor, is it not? I'm certain that you received that praise of 10. This crew don't seem the film-going type. Is there a point to any of this grandstanding? This crew don't seem the film-going type. I'm certain you receive that praise often. Not as often as you would think. I suppose I did get distracted, didn't I? Anyway, I was hoping you'd join me up deck. Hoping you'd join me up deck. I mean, obviously Hunt doesn't require my presence. But why? I finally entered the pack. I thought you'd want to see it for yourself. So I do kind of. Before turning back. Oh, and enjoy your morning. It's a good day, Shaw. Ah. Kurt Darling, added to manifest. Okay. Can't write in it yet. Doctor's office? Miss Gloss. That's the. You note one of the science team returning to their room. Ah, Miss Gloss. You have a good rest. She nods to you. Is that me? Ah, hello. I did not expect Minnie to be up this early. Harriet Gloss. I believe I've met your husband. I find it difficult to adjust to sleep on a moving vessel. I believed a walk around the ship would help acclimate myself to the waves. Perhaps it will take some more time. With that, Miss Gloss makes her way back to the cabin. The science team aren't used to the sea or the sailor folk. Quite the culture clash, isn't it? Well, I'm sure they'll grow used to it over time. Harriet Gloss added. So, to the doctor. Block. Seems that a good doctor isn't in, or perhaps enjoying his sleep. You are yet to come across the ship's doctor, even after all this time. Now, let's go down again. Damn it. Lots for his sleep. Don't want to find yourself dealing with an abruptly awoken sailor. Let us head up deck. Sounds of snoring are rather obnoxious. Okay, nothing else here. Up we go. Very cool. Helm. Going Kurt. Captain's cabin. At the stern, you notice an older sailor at the helm. The old man takes in a deep breath in the cold air before letting out a satisfied exhale. Good morning. And good morning to you. He eyes you up. Officer Shaw, right? Lefty. Call me that on account of, well, should be obvious. He chuckles. Don't worry about the bad sight. This is all feel. Just keeping her steady. He examines you. Surprise Hunt picked from outside for his first mate. I'm surprised as well. He seems the insular type. He is. You must be something special for Hunt to look outside the ranks. You've got the experience at least. Merchant Navy's quieter though. Mornings like these are about the only peace I get from the younger lot. You take these moments when you can. Lefty returns his attention to the helm. As you get older, I suppose you learn to value the quiet moments, eh? Let us hope we're just as diligent when we're old and gray. Myself before you, of course. Harold Turner added to the manifest. We're looking at Harold. So we've got 4 more sailors to find. Haven't seen any of the scouts, engineers, 2 of the 3 scientists. So, resources, key items. Wait, what's this base? Not. Is he not considered a scout? You join Kurt at the bow of the ship. You both feel the temper break the floes below you. Gripping the railing, he draws an enormous breath. The footing beneath rises as the ship mounts an impending iceberg. There is a moment's hesitation before a profound crack leaves the ship, cascading across the ice. He exhales. See, nothing else like it. You weren't wrong. Something, all right. At Look at the ice. No two cracks are the same. By the laws of nature, this place wants us dead. And yet, here we are, conversing in harmony. How fantastic is that? How far are we from land? I'm actually wondering a little bit about, like, I understand that the dogs are there to help us find food, but where are you going to find food exactly? I mean, I guess you're, like, hunting penguins and bears or something? Maybe some kind of, I don't know. How far are we from land? We're about a week's sail from the last known location of the old Viscount. Assuming she isn't exactly where they left her, we can't take smooth sailing for granted. Same goes for this daylight. It won't remain this bright for so long once winter encroaches. Beautiful as the ice is, on this course it's going to get thicker. He looks out across the white. We won't be so confident when the leads dry up and we're stuck here till the next cycle. We need to change course, avoid the pack. He informed Captain Hunt. He won't listen to me, thinks I've been dulled by retirement. We need to change course. I've probably seen more ice than he has whiskey. Not the supplies I'd be worried about in that situation. People will turn on each other before they let themselves starve. Have you ever experienced the long night winter? It's not pleasant, to say the least. If it comes to that, we'll adapt. There's a chain of command, and this isn't one of your adventure serials, Kurt. We're only as good as the unhappiest man, Robert. Hard to tell. I think, like, obviously he has some, I mean, well, presumably he has some experience doing this kind of stuff, adventuring and whatnot. I don't know if the captain, what was it, Hunt? Special. Rufus Hunt. Anybody else? Down again. Nobody here yet. Oh boy, more requests. Ah, Shaw. Ready for another day of work? Did you hear Kurt's advice? He wants us to switch course. I was hoping you would help me through a few more requests of the crew. You may have noticed the line pooling up outside. Everyone wants something, it seems. Call them in as you please. They've got Pasha, Orvid, and Hammond. Alright, Hammond it is. A short, sour-faced man in engineer clothing approaches. Are you acting daft, Hunt? Not with intention. Not bloody surprise you didn't notice. Oh, this is our chief engineer, Clive Hammond. An opinionated one. What is it, Hammond? We've hit the ice, and you haven't assigned an extra man down on the boiler. You have your engineering team, and we've only got 6 arms between us. I need more manpower maintaining this. Sailors.
Many of the crew have their own tasks they're busy with. I know I've already assigned Smurf on a matter.
Jesus. He wants more than 3?
Only got so many. Uh, so he needs sailors. He's got 3 engineers supposedly. Excuse me. See, I just don't know. I don't know what, Smurf's already assigned to something. We've only got so many. Well, he said 1 presumably would not be enough, and 3 max cards allowed, 4 min cards required. I mean, let's do a happy medium of 2. Get the son and dad. Young Runt could use someone to teach him on the job, do better than his father. Don't get me started on handing over the bloody stowaway. Would you rather none? He holds his tongue. Fine. But you can tell me how right I was when we're buried under the ice. Good spirit, that one, beneath the oil and the temper. I wonder what the boiler rooms... I mean, I guess they're just keeping the engine going so that we can break through the ice. You won't be seeing much of him, though. Prefers to burrow himself into the boiler room. Tasha's the least important person here. Corvid enters the office. Hunt, you asked for a report on how the stowaway was doing? I wanted to see if the young boy has been settling in well. He has indeed. It means another mouth to feed. But the boy works hard and doesn't ask much. He has his dad to guide him as well. I'm sure the boy's father is ecstatic. Worried sick, but happy, aye. Well, what do you know, Shaw? Perhaps we were right to keep the boy aboard. He leaves. It is, Captain Shaw. I thought occurred to me the other day while looking through the crew manifest, and well, it might be too late for this now, but now that we've already entered the ice. Out with it. I thought it would be good to have individual photos of the full crew. For your report, not only my report, it would be good reference for the manifest that faces to the names. Much of this crew have served me for years, some decades. I have little problem putting faces to the names. Your thoughts, Shaw? A bit late, but it's now or never. May as well get it over with. Aye, a good point, but maybe you could sound a little more enthused. Well, Belfort, I see no problem there. I'll arrange for the pictures to be taken before the crew have their dinner. Thank you, Captain. In the meantime, I'll attempt to get as many individual crew photos as I can. You're still welcome to help on that matter, Officer Shaw. Part's satisfied. Damn. I should have talked to him about Kurt. Never give you the option. Good to have all that settled. Then, I take it you've spoken to our navigator. Kurt has had a few words to share with me about changing course. He may have been an expert in his time. These days, Kurt is one with more money than sense. Still, perhaps we shouldn't rule out old Kurt so easily. If the man thinks there could be an alternate path through the ice, he's free to search for it. Shall meet with him when you have time. Changing course or not, we'll want one of his scouts set up in the crow's nest. Take care of that, then you'll be done for the day. All right, so set up one of Kurt's guys in the crow nest and talk to him about changing course. D6. You spot a youthful looking man leaning over the side of the ship, his head slumped as he looks into the icy pool below. It appears he's been visited by a spot of seasickness. Are you okay? You speak out, and the sickly man doesn't answer. He raises his head and turns to spot you, his eyes widening in shock as he does. A bespectacled young man, shaking with unease. He stares at you for a brief moment, a look of shame plastered upon his face. Sorry. Are you all right? Yes. Well, not really. I'm very sorry. The man turns around and hurriedly runs in the opposite direction, avoiding your gaze. Arthur Nutley. Who is this fellow? Probably a scientist. Seasick, land-born doctor. Ugh. I was afraid of that. Let's check here. While examining the rigging of the ship, your eyes notice a figure darting by, climbing on the ropes with ease. The figure lands on their feet before dusting themselves off. Their outfit denotes one of Kurt's scouting crew. Ah, no problems. She looks to you, and you are Officer Shaw. Yourself? I'm the first mate. You should address me as such. You should be careful. It's easy to get trapped up there. Flick, I'm one of Kurt's crew. Don't worry about my safety. I know what I'm doing. Trust me. Kurt doesn't just hire anyone. Well, he didn't hire me for no reason. Got the medals in gymnastics if you're worried about my credentials. Flick jumps up and returns to the scaling the rigging of the ship. So, looks like we've got an important decision to make about navigation. Also got stuff down below. Send me up there. I'll get you a reading. Scientist eyes the man's cane and turns to you. I believe the navigator means you to send one of his scouts. Navigator clears his throat and taps his cane. Of course, him. If you find one of mine, they'll get us a reading rightly. Scout from the crow's nest. Well, put her up there. We only have one. They ascend the crows to the nest and take a reading with the sexton. All clear from up top. What? What is this? Viscount Island. Are we here? So we need to... The last known location of the Viscount, your destination. The last port you made, where you picked up Kurt and the scouting team from. And we would be at this location. Looks like we're gonna have to go northwestish. Unless we're breaking through this huge chunk of ice somehow. And there's nothing for me to do here. Okay. Go below. Anybody here? Listen. You overhear two of the newly arrived scouting crew talking. Ah, close. York the Third. Have any trouble settling in? Not too bad. I can't wait for a chance to sleep, though. A proper navigator never rests until their work is done. Of course, of course. I take it you had no issue settling in? Not at all. The crew are a funny lot. Old Kurt certainly caught their attention. Or, do you think any of them would mistake Kurt and myself? I think you'd collapse from joy if they did. Perhaps. Nice. So I got 2 crew members added. Pantry pump. The moment you enter the pantry, a bag of flour drops in your head, scattering all over your officer's uniform. The hell was that? Gnomes? You wipe the flour off you before continuing. You life crate of tins from the shelf. Maybe lift? Is that for another resources? Sealed sustenance prepared by the Apperton Tinning Company. +5 food. Or resource, or +5 +20 -5 that. You spot a suspicious-looking sailor emerge from the pantry. The hooded sailors spot you, keeping their hands firmly in their pockets. Not what it looks like, Officer Shaw. Fleck, but call me Gnome. I'm not thieving anything. No worries, I was just setting a practical joke. And what is this practical joke? Not going to spoil the surprise. It's not at your expense, if that's your concern. Have to get some enjoyment around here, don't you think? With their mysterious trap set, Gnomes scurries off to the upper deck to return to work. We've added gnomes now. So, have we found just 9 people? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay. Wait, what? I found 20 people, but it says I've got 9 out of 25 left. I wonder if that means 9 out of 25 people free? Not really sure. Junior. Ah, you must be Shaw. Seems you've met my brother already. Jordan Stoke. But nobody calls me that. On the ship, I'm known as Junior. It'd be obvious you've met my brother. The burden that comes with being the younger. One step ahead of me. If you add those tins to the hoosh, we should be good for dinner. Feed the hoosh pot. Oh. Why does the decorum go down there? Still. That seems a better investment. So, like, if I had 4 tins, I would gain an entire week's worth of resources. Almost an entire week's worth of food at the cost of what it would cost to basically save. Oh no, because it was 10 decorum lost. You give no resources. or no heating, and like tend to also do no food. So okay, well, feed the hoosh pot. Don't have any more. Okay. Pantry. How is it? I'm missing something. The pantry is yellow. Nothing to happen here, though. All right. Let's call the crew for dinner. The crew have their meal. What is some kind of error? I think. That's John. The days get longer, but dinner's fixed. It will see us through the long days and the darkest night. Darling. Who was that? I don't remember. The crew return to their posts. The hammocks are unfurled in preparation for the evening. You can't help but notice that it's still bright light outside. You notice two sailors passing by from the dinner table. An inebriated sailor on wobbling legs, leaning on the shoulder of another. Ah, good times, good times. Need to learn to handle your drink, Tucker. But I'm fine. My mates can carry me, eh, Cavity? They can also drop you. Have two Johns carry you next time. Are you asleep? Shit. Ralph Zoom added to the manifest, and Tolson Hughes? I think sailors, probably. Tolson, Tucker Higgs. And Rafe Cavity Zoom. Only missing this one guy. Why are they locked? The scouts are good. Sailors were only missing one. Engineers. Missing two. Scientist one. Specialist one. We go, I guess. Where are we going? We're heading this way? That doesn't look feasible. Over here. You overhear two engineers chatting above deck. Or rather, you overhear one engineer speaking with another. Grit. Don't know how the chief could stay down there all evening. Dick. You ever see Mr. Hammond eat? I haven't. Maybe he doesn't even eat. Man's not human if he can work all day and night on that boiler. Probably doesn't sleep either. He probably sleeps. Aye, Dick, it's figurative. Right. So we've got 4 people working on the boiler. I think it was good to put the two fathers there. And we've got the one lady up there. Captain has turned in for the evening. Got the old guy on the helm. Damn, does she really sleep with her dogs in here? Ingrid Cordell added to the manifest. The dogs regard her with rapt attention as she paces between them, bowl in hand. The largest joins her side as you approach. Try some. Takes a sip herself without hesitation. Penguin, some blubber, fats, and proteins. Fastest way to hydrate them. Was there something you needed? It's hard to tell the exact breeds at this point. They belong here more than we do. Unlike us, they need the ice. It cools them through their paws as they run. They'd overheat otherwise. A long time, yes. Strong creatures. Very. They handle stress differently, adapt quickly. There's plenty to be learned from them. Who's that beside you? This is Stanberry. Bark. You love these animals. They need me, and you'll need them. All right. Well, I gave a shot. A lot of dogs. Okay, so captain's in bed. We've already talked to the dog lady. Nothing happening up here. Go below. Oh, I think we're ready for bed ourselves. Door. You knock on the door. No response. I don't think I've seen these two guys. But nothing happening. Still no response. You can hear the sound of rustling. I wonder who it is. Annoyed scientist. Yes? You require my presence. I'm acquainting myself. The crew. Who are you? Apologies, just checking. I'm the meteorologist of this expedition. Andre Isaac. Mr. Zach. I am not required for anything. I would not ask to be disturbed. I would ask not to be disturbed any further. Sure. No problem, bud. Can I do something here? Not. Guess let's end the week. -4 degrees. Huh. I thought we would have lost. So we'll go down from 80 to 60. That seems okay. Down to 20 food, though, seems kind of rough. Food rations. I wonder if losing decorum will have you lose more bad things start happening. If I do this, only 25 lost. And that puts us at wait, we're at 70 now. Okay. So 45, which technically we could go another week then on just the food we have with half rations. I don't know how pressing this is, though. I don't know where they're saying we're going to have enough rations to get through this normally. But what I would suspect is something bad is going to happen, and um, food is going to be hard to come by. What if we have no rations? See, I would think half rations is -10, no rations is -20. I would think no rations would be even worse. But we'll tear ourselves apart with lost decorum. Let's do half rations, actually. Another week passes. The temperance has finally entered the thick ice leads. Days grow ever brighter. Three weeks on the temperance. All right. Huh. Huh. All right. Let's take a break here. Um, and we'll probably pick up and maybe play something else. But I'm gonna take a short, like 5-10 minute break and be back. Load save tree system. I'm assuming it saved at the end of the. Huh. Locked in the past. Q. On week 3. Hmm. Okay, let's see. Return to menu. Load game. Wait. Uh, no, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What? Did I make a mistake? Aren't I on week 3? Bro. Didn't the game have saved at the beginning of the 3rd week? When I. What? Well, that sucks. Alright, well, when we pick this game back up, I guess I'll have to play this week again. I'll just hurry through it and make the same choices again. Shouldn't be too hard to remember, but that's incredibly annoying. Wait, what's that? Did I just see like a meter? I could have sworn I just saw like a meter. Right? A meter over here. Huh. Oops. So annoying. Why didn't it say? All right. Oh well. Yeah, I'll probably pick it up and finish it tomorrow or something, and I'll just go through this week again. And it's already wished. All right, guys. I will be right back in like 10 minutes. Okay, guys. We're actually gonna end it here. I'll be on to stream something later. Right now, got something else going on. So I hope you enjoyed the look at the Pale Beyond. I think it looks very promising, actually. Uh, I'm gonna finish the demo and probably pick it up whenever it comes out on Steam. I do believe it's coming out this year sometime. So, like I said, I hope.